Well, welcome again to our school, CamEd Business School this morning. His Excellency Susajir. I know that everybody knows that you are the financial regulator in charge of Securities and Exchange in Cambodia. What a pleasure to welcome you again today.
Thank you, Dr. Vrat, for inviting me again to CamEd Business School. I'm always happy to be with you. And let's see what we could discuss today.
That's right. So as we know, whenever we talk about an economy, we look at different things. And one of those things would be, okay, people will judge by the number of how many securities are being sold, are being bought, what is the exchange rate, what is the how many people buy insurance, how many people use trust. So all of that to tell a story.
Yeah.
And our story, Cambodian story, is one that is catching a lot of attention. So on that, I would like to hear your thought on what has been happening in recently.
Thank you for this kind of comment and also question to me related to the security sector. Recently, we have just issued 2 new regulations.
Right.
And this is the updated one in security sector. One is related to what we call the infrastructure bond.
Right.
Infrastructure bond is mean that the kind of bond that issued by the company, but the purpose is to build the infrastructure, and especially the public infrastructure. So this kind of corporate one is very specific because the company need the big side of money and to support the state to build the infrastructure, or to support the company itself to build the private infrastructure, but this infrastructure is benefit to all the public, like solar farm, like the other hydropower that will support the state and also the public services to the use of all the public. So this regulation is very important, and recently, and not recently, I could say that just today, we just have had one event, very good event, that we get the support from Australian embassy, and also one institution that is the flagship of Australia in terms of economic development partner, we call CamEd. So CamEd has support capital market to go along with our strategy to support the company to issue the infra bond. So if the company that want to issue the infra bond in Cambodia, in capital market of Cambodia, they get the support from CamEd in terms of they will support in terms of the cost, they will support in terms of technical assistance, and any kind of support that will go along with the company step by step to build this infrastructure by issuing the bond in capital market. So that is very good event that happening, and CamEd will do the public announcement on the support, financial support and technical support. And as a regulator, we support CamEd in this initiative and in this idea. We will work with CamEd, and we will go along with our company that have the potential to issue the infra bond next year in Cambodia capital market. That is first one. But I want to finish another one. Another one regulation is talking about the private one. We call it the private placement. We have the bond market. This year is very remarkable year for the bond market. We start to have the big side of corporate bond issue in Cambodia. At the beginning of the year, we have 100 million USD issued by Canada Bank, and this bank could issue another corporate bond for 100 million.
For another
for another 100 million recently. So that just only 1 year, 200 million was issued in Cambodia capital market. So this is very remarkable because the size is very big compared to what we expect at the beginning.
Sure.
But right now, the bond market, we start later than equity market. But right now, the size of bond market in Cambodia is surpassed 500 million USD already. So compare to the last one, the last year that we have, you could say that this size is multiplied by 2. We don't look only on the number, but if we look on the rate, that is very interesting for Cambodia capital market this year. So that's why regulator decided to issue and to put in place another instrument for the bond market that we call the private placement. This one will support the private sector to issue the bond outside the market. So when they need new money, when they need the burning money, they could issue the private placement. Easy what? Not put in the market, but there are also some we call that prudential regulation that need to be listed and regulated by regulator. So that is the two big instruments in bond market that we have put in place during this.
That's right. Now, just for the purpose of the public, so in capital market, you can basically talk down two things. You either raise fund by selling stock, selling shares, so that would mean you would have to have other owners join you, right? Otherwise, if you don't want any more shareholders, you just issue bonds. So
Yes.
essentially, you just borrow money from whoever with a promise to pay back at certain interest, right? So that way, companies can raise funds either through selling shares or simply getting loans from people. And now you just said that we have gone one step further, meaning not every bond has to be in the market. You can also issue it outside the market as private placement. Now, on this private placement, do you have experience from elsewhere that could enlighten us?
It's for this kind of bond that we call private placement. It's not surprisingly that Cambodia have kind of the regulation or this kind of issuance of private placement. All the countries they have this kind of bond. Talking about the bond market, there are many variety of bond. Right now, Cambodia just have the corporate bond, we just have the infra bond, and we just have the private placement. In terms of public bond, I talk about the bond that need to be listed in the market. We have two kinds also. One is really public, issue for all the public and listed. And another one is not for public but for just qualified investor that recognized by ACLC and listing on the market that we call the hybrid bond. But they are the kind of bond like thematic bond, green bond, sustainable. We have all kinds of these bonds in Cambodia, but we need more specific regulation for each kind of product in Cambodia. So that is what we talk about the corporate bond. But you are right. Not only that company need money, they could issue bond, but they could also issue equity. But on their consideration, whether is what product fit with their company, they will go for that product. But for regulator, we need to build up, the ground. We need to build up the structure. We need to put in place all the ecosystem. Whether is the company that they could go to the bank for the loan for the fund. But if they don't want or they could not go for that way, they have the choice to come to the market. And so at the market, we need to build all kind of variety of product that fit with the company. And it's not surprisingly that Cambodia has this kind of, product of we call that investment product. Some country, the other country, and all around the world, they have many kind of investment product in their country also. Private placement. In Asia, all the country they have this kind of private placement. But just only the way of doing, I think that each regulator, each country, they need to build a thing about what is the proper way of doing in their country. What is the proper regulation for their environment investment in their country. In terms of principle, we have the same thing. But in terms of the way of doing, we need to think about what we can do, what we can not do, and what our company could benefit from that kind of product. So that's why we have the private placement, but we will, do this kind of product under our regulation. The same principle, not listing, easy to issue, but under regulated.
Right. Now, when you mention prudential regulations, right? Because when we allow companies to go ahead issuing private placement, what is the mechanism to make public feel secure?
what different from the public issuance and private issuance? The public issuance is just issue for public, right? So regulator have, the thought that if you issue for public, there are some principle and there are some prudential regulation that need to protect the public.
Sure.
So strong protection have been seen in the regulation. But when you issue the private bond or the private place, it means that you will target some investor, and all the investor that you target, we could consider as the qualified investor, that they know about the market, they know about the what we call the risk. So between the retail investor that not really understand about the risk and the private investor that understand well about the risk, the protection is not the same. That is the main separation between public issuance and private issuance. But in terms of the other regulation that ensure that all of these issuance must be, successful and also go along with, the investor protection, I think that for us, we treat the same thing. The company need to have the, the financial report. The company need to have the abilities to pay back the debt. So all of things we do the same thing. But just only that, not listing and not strong regulation in terms of protection. That is the separation between public issuance and private issuance.
So, in other words, maybe one nuance, one small difference between public issuance and private is that there is more flexibility for private issuance. Now, in our country, of course, people make money, people save money, they sometimes don't know what to do. They just place at the bank as a fixed deposit and earn interest. But now that the capital market is improving a lot day by day, thanks so much to your good leadership. So I'm hoping that Cambodian public will buy into the idea that, okay, I don't want to own any company, so I don't want to buy stocks per se, but I can be a creditor of the company when the company issue private bonds, etc., etc. Now, from your experience, because you traveling the world, you're traveling to everywhere here regionally and internationally, what do you see as the trigger? Like, okay, what do you need to have before you can attract pool of investors to buy private bonds or things like that? What are people talking about, basically?
And we could not compare one market to another market. It's not the same. And the way of our doing is not the same as the other market. Compared to the big market, they start the market without regulation. They start market without regulator. Regulator intervene after the market happen. But for Cambodia, we start with regulation, law. We establish the regulator, and regulator put in place everything.
Sure.
So until now in Cambodia, everything is under regulation. So that's why the markets will go step by step. So we could not compare that. What we have done is the same as the other country had. But for regulator, what we think about is when we create one market, one thing, first thing that we need to think, whether is the market have all kind of structure, the same as the other that have been in place. The structure that we have put in place for the investor, whether it's smooth enough to protect them, whether it's their variety of investment that could support what the need of investor, and from the regulator side, what we need to protect the investor have been everything in place. So that is what regulator, when they give the market, we always think about. But it's right that when through my regulation, there are no reduction in income on investment. We understand that. So that's why we need to balance between that. To attract more investor, we need also to relaxing on the regulation. Sure. To attract more international investor, we need to have kind of the same, same regulation between local investor and international investor. To attract more investor from abroad, we need to have the same investment. So that's why we start with the strong background in our structure of the market. We have also the idea, at the beginning stage, saying to the regulator that why you need all kinds of documents when the company want to do the IPO.
Sure.
How many percentage of company in Cambodia that have kind of financial report, have kind of structure like the other company in the other market? We build up with nothing. We build up with from scratch. So when one company to do the IPO, they need to build everything: financial report, structure, corporate governance, all kind of these things that sometimes make the company delay on their willing to do the IPO. And there are some experts come to us and telling us that why don't you examine this, why don't you examine this? I said it's easy to examine, but it's not easy to put right in place. So we need to build the market that the same thing the other country they have. Why? Because we don't want to build the market just only for our local investor, but we build the market for all and for international investors. So that's why, related to financial report, we respect the international rule. International rules saying that the company do the IPO, they need to have what we call the financial report that respect the standard, international standard. And we start from that. During that, no company in Cambodia respect that. But we need to work with our company. He's saying that if you want to have the investor from abroad to join in your company, you need to have this kind of financial report. True. So step by step, up till now, we have the company that could issue the IPO, could do the IPO, could attract the international investor to come with all these, what we call the background that we built in our structure of the market. So from us, we could say that what we have done so far is ready to welcome not only local investor but international investor. That's why right now, in terms of one market, we could attract more and more international investor. And there are also the people at the expert come to me that you could not come with the green bond, sustainable bond yet because you have the strong bond market yet in place. I say that if we wait one and we don't know when, so why we don't start from now? Whether it's our bond market is still not yet at the maturity, not the same as the other country yet. I see that why we don't put in place all the variety of bond to the investor and the issues. So that's why right now in our bond market we have the land bond, we have the public bond, we have we call hybrid bond, and we could have thematic bond like green bond, sustainable bond. That all go along with the appetite of investor.
Right. Excellency, I truly appreciate the fact that when you highlighted the difference between how things happen elsewhere and how we start things here. Because at other places where they let the market sort of try out first and then regulation came later, there is a give and take, right? Yes, you want the market to prosper, so you let everything go, but then that also create a lot of issues. And that means in other places, they might have what we call legacy problems.
Yes.
In other countries, we don't have legacy problems. So we start the regulations and see and try to clean up the market. So those who are clean enough are welcome to join the stock market. And that's good. Now, and we just mentioned the bonds. So yes, we have bonds that offer fixed rate of coupon, like interest
Yes.
a stable rate, or you have bonds that are secured by assets of the company, so
Yep.
called the asset-based bonds, and or the company which doesn't have assets to back up their securities, they can just use guarantee, right?
Yes.
So we also have guaranteed bonds. Now, in our market, currently most of the bonds are guaranteed by third parties.
I could say that 80% of the bond is correct.
80% are guaranteed.
And we not only have our local guarantee, but we have also international guarantee.
Interesting.
We have CGCC, that is our local guarantee, and established by the Ministry of Finance. Sure. And right now we recognize as our local guarantee. And we have also two international guarantor. One is CGIS. CGIS is the guarantor from ASEAN Plus Rate. And Cambodia is also a shareholder of that kind of company. And we have another one from UK, from Europe, is we call Granco. Granco is one company in Europe that provide all the service in terms of bond guarantee. So right now we have three guarantee in the world market. If the small scale of issue and bond, CGCC could cover it. But if our local guarantee could not cover it, we will have partnership with CGF for guarantee.
So this is good because I keep talking about bond because bond seems to occupy a lot of our attention. You also, over the year, yes, when we started the capital market, we targeted good, like small size companies.
Yes.
But then as time passed, we also allow smaller size SME companies to be listed. That we have the main board and we have the growth board, right? So now on the growth board, which welcome medium-sized company, what do you see? Is this picking up the steam, or it's going to take some more time for the growth board to attract more smaller size company?
I could explain a little bit in terms of this growth board. That is the initiative from our Deputy Prime Minister and Finance and as Chairman of our non-bank national civil authority. When we start the market, he said he observed that from his, he thought he observed that we had the market just only for the big scale of company, because we put in place, the payout capital for the company that could do the IPO or list on the market to start from, around 7.5 million US.
That's right.
So compared to the number of companies in Cambodia, this scale is just only for few companies. So in saying this, he request me and my team, to look around in the region and also across around some country in the world, that whether there are small scale market that could support the small scale company. So we go look around in ASEAN and some part of other world that fit with our environment. So we say we could observe that normally in the market there could be some board that separate between one scale company to another scale company. So come back to this, we decide to establish the growth board. The growth board is mean that the board that will allow the company in the small scale to list and to raise fund. And in terms of the size company that could list on this growth board, that is another topic of discussion. So we compare with the other country that they have kind of regulation require minimal requirement, and we compare with our situation. We could not take from one country and say that this is the requirement and we need to follow that. We could not do like that. So that's why my team need to to do some research and consultation and do with some what we call the business mismatch with some potential company they want to refund from the market. So we decide that the company that have the pay-up capital start from $500,000 USD, or in real is 2 million Khmer Ringgit. They could consider as the potential asset that could list on the market and raise fund. But we need that the company need to be prepared, because the strong structure of company in the market, it's not just only in terms of pay-up capital, but they need to have built in what we call the structure of governance.
Sure.
And the right word that we use in the capital market is the corporate governance.
Sure.
You need to be as corporate, not family business, not family company. So if you decide from one scale to another scale as corporate, you could start in the market. You could raise fund. Because the company that could raise fund could allow the investor to join in, they need to be as corporate. And corporate need to have kind of structure as corporate governance. They need to have the board, they need to have kind of committee. So that is all the sort that we have. We don't request much in terms of capital from the SME, but SME need to be good in terms of corporate.
Sure.
And one more thing that we want to introduce to them, we understand that it's not easy, but it's good for the company to start. That we call the financial. The big scale company, we need financial report, and we need them to show us about the profit year per year before you allow the public investor to join. But for SME, you don't need the profit, but you need to show us that you have the financial report. You need to show us that you have the ability, to build the financial report that very sound in terms of expense, in terms of review. So if you keep in mind in terms of this, you could start engage our underwriter in the market to start the process of IPO. So that is the story of our group. And until now, we have two companies that list on our group board. It's not mean that we create for nothing. Right now, we have two companies already in the group board. One is a DBD Engineering. It's one construction company, but right now I think that they could move up to another thing. They not the small scale, start with the small scale in our growth board, but right now they grow. So that's why we call that board as growth board. From the small scale, you go to the board and you start to grow with the fund that you get from market. Another one is the condo developer, KSLand, another one company that is on our growth board. But with the what we call the problem as right now we see in the finance in the real estate sector, KSLand still in the growth board, and they could not meet yet the criteria to move up to the main board. But soon, yes, soon. And we will have another company next month. Picasso is another developer company, and real estate also, but they will join our growth board next month for listing, and hopefully that everything will fine with their subscription. That will finish tomorrow, and comply with some regulation in the market to be listing next month in the market. So next month we will exit in growth board.
So I think as long as we keep progressing, it sounds great. And to link that back to the fact that you keep mentioning, when you are listed, you are known to be clean, you are known to be good in terms of corporate governance and everything, and that means it contributes to helping your reputation.
Right.
Right. So now my question, if I may, yes, we have our market here, and basically we want our market to be linked to other markets too.
Yes.
So in your opinion, when will we start seeing cross listing, so that people from Cambodia can buy stocks from other companies, foreign companies that are listed here, or vice versa? When is that going to happen? Or is it happening already step by step?
It's under discussion. One company cross from one market to another market, they need to respect two main regulations.
That's right. Yeah.
So right now in ASEAN, we have the framework that talking together.
Right.
We talk about the harmonization of the regulation in terms of listing. When you list in one country, in Malaysia, and you want to list in Cambodia, so Cambodian regulator need to recognize the paperwork that have been done in Malaysia.
That's right. And vice versa.
And vice versa. So that's why everything needs to start from the framework that regulator need to talk each other before we allow one company cross the border and to list in another company.
Sure.
But in waiting until that we have the one company to go cross listing in ASEAN. Right now we talk about also what we call the mobility of the expert, mobility of the broker. One broker license by Cambodia. How could they enter into the other market in ASEAN,
right,
in Malaysia, in Philippines, or in the other country? How Philippine or Malaysian regulator recognize the license that we provide them in Cambodia? So that is another topic that we talk in ASEAN. But recently, to allow our investor to understand well not only how to trade the stock in our local market, but to gain more idea, to gain more knowledge in terms of international trading for the stock, we allow our broker, we start with one broker first, to connect with the global trading, and there are one company that they provide the access to some broker to enter their platform and allow them to buy some stock from big market like US, Japan, Singapore.
So it's like case by case. If we recognize you, you could do.
Yes. So right now we have one our broker that could connect with that platform, and as a regulator, we allow that broker to do so for testing.
Good.
It means that start from next month, I think, maybe ready from next month, December. Our investor could,
Use that broker and then access the other market.
yes, could. It means that our broker will compare between how to trade the stock in our local market and how to connect with the big market outside Cambodia. So if they want to buy, if they want to have the stock from Microsoft, they need to enter into the US market. But right now, this link from our broker to the global trading will allow our investor to buy directly the stock from US market. That is the starting point that we do before we come into the cross listing in the region or with the other company in the world. So we try step by step because we understand that our local market, there are no so much variety of stock to trade because we still, at the beginning and at the small number of equity yet. That's why we think that if we want, to have the market that more active, we need to train our investor. The idea that coming to us that why we don't allow them through our broker, that we could protect their stock, we could protect their money, but they could go to, we could say that enjoy with the trading with the other big market. So we start from that.
Now, I think as we started earlier, we live in an ecosystem where everything is connected to everything else, right? So capital market, insurance, trust, banking. Now, on that, because I could see that there is a close relationship between trust and securities.
Yep.
As a trust system, people can give their asset, that could be property, that could be money, that could be also shares. And then the trustee will some sort of play the role as asset manager, for example, or portfolio manager. The trustee will invest everything that settlor asked them to do. Now, in this sense, have you already seen this kind of thing, where a trust has shares put by settlor, and then the trustee use the money, use the asset to buy shares from listed company? Is that happening already, or is it in the making?
It depends on what we call trustee or another kind of security in the market. But I just want to start from that. To build the security market, we build from trust. Talking about market, we talk about the trust. We have the trust already built in the market. When you go to the market, you trust market, you go to the market. Sure. But just only that, there are some mechanism, there are some product that need to be established under trust. So that's why we need the trust regulator CamEd. We need the trust law CamEd. And this trust regulator or trust product will support to the market. Right. There are some mechanisms that don't need to be regulated. So they don't need to register with the trust regulator. But there are some mechanisms, there are some products that need to be researched. So that's why, as you mentioned, if the trust service that built by trust regulator, they want to enter its security market, then they need to register with trust regulator, but they need to be also licensed by security regulator as the regulator of the market. So we could see that the market could expand more and more with the support from the trust services. we expand our market not only for the stock, for the bond, but we expand our market to the other kind of product. And this kind of product need the support from trust.
Right.
We call the collective investment scheme. This collective investment scheme, we need the trustee to support, because the investment company, they do the investment, but they could not keep the money, they could not keep the asset. So that's why we need the trustee to keep. And this trustee need to be registered with the trust regulator.
Sure.
The compliance of, supervision from two regulator provide, the trust to the market. We could say that. But there are also the kind of guardian of the stock or guardian of the bond in the conventional security market process, but we not call trustee, but we call custodian.
Sure.
So custodian is the services that licensed by security regulator, but the role is just only to keep stock or to keep. But trustee, they have, the big pool of, service better than custodian, because they could, provide all the trust service to not only stock, not only bond, but the other kind of asset, many kind of asset, all the other kind of asset that not under security sector. So that's why we need to separate between what is trustee, what is custodian. But back to that, yes, between the security sector and trust sector, there are some separation that, trust regulator, they need to supervise, but without joining the hand with security regulator. But there are also some part that we need to work together.
Sure.
If related to the safety sector.
Sure. Now, just one quick word on the relationship between capital market and insurance premiums. Now, we all know that insurance companies, they collect a lot of premiums. They have so much premium that they don't know what to do. So basically, they just place the premium with banks to earn interest on fixed terms. So in the future, and this has been applied elsewhere too, do you see that insurance companies would be more willing to invest the premiums in capital market? Is that going to happen anytime soon in Cambodia?
It's not willing, they do already in the market.
That's good.
Yes. Talking about insurance sector, right now I think that this kind of sector is not, it's not a small sector right now, it's the big size sector that we have the pool of money. And especially when we decide to establish the life insurance company. So this pool of money, you are right, they could not only invest as deposit at the bank, they need to put in some investment product. So that's why security market, we build the investment product fit with the investor. Insurance company is our potential investor in the market. They invest not only in share, but they invest in and the long-term bond.
Right.
When we start our bond market with a 3-year maturity or 5-year maturity, insurance company come to me and say that they could not invest in that because it's small and the maturity is not so long enough. For them, they need to start, from the investment product that have the maturity at least 10 years, 15 years. But right now we have. So that's why, more and more insurance company, they start to invest in our market. But not only in the private bond or corporate bond, but they come to us and consult with us to invest also in what we call the government bond. So right now we have the government bond that have the long-term maturity and will be issued next year. And so some insurance, they invest in cover.
So government bonds would have a maturity of minimum 10 years and over, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That we fit with the appetite of insurance company. So with this pool of money from insurance company, I think that will make the benefit to our investor, also the other retail investor, because how we could build up more and more investment product, and some investment product fit with the large scale of investment like insurance company. Some investment product will fit with the retail investor.
Sure.
So that is, the potential of
yes. And to just expand on that, not just insurance, in the future maybe pension funds will also be interested in investing some of their money in the capital market. But I think for the interest of time, I know that you're a very busy person. Let me just come down to my one or two final questions. Now, A few weeks back, I was honored by you. Thank you very much for inviting me to speak at your annual securities conference, where we spoke a little bit about your view in the future, your 10-year plan strategy, right? So why don't you tell us a little bit more? What is your view in the next, short term and long term?
Yeah, thank you, Mike. Talking about the master plan, it's what we call the exciting document that we could lay out this year with the support from the NB and
Asia Development Bank.
Yeah, Asia Development Bank. They provide the technical assistance to draft and to do the consultation, and with the team from SLC we could put in place, and with also the support from our top management, and especially Deputy Prime Minister of Economy and Finance. This master plan 10 year, for me, it's not just the roadmap, but it is a document that's saying that where we are right, where the security market, Cambodia security market right now, what we have. So in the document, we're showing everything that we have done so far more than 10 years ago. We have the ecosystem in place. We have everything in place. But what we need more, and we need to put in this roadmap, we need to diversify the product. We need to diversify the services. And we need to catch up with the new technology that we call the financial technology. And this fintech will support and will, provide what we call the youth development in terms of service and in terms of product. So we benefit from that, and we need to put in place the roadmap where we could catch up with this new technology, how we could use this new technology to support in terms of service and product, and how regulator could benefit from the new technology to support the market. So we have everything in our master plan with this, catching the new technology that we call the fintech. But in our master plan, we are also excited also because it's not only the master plan that fit with what we have done and show us what we should do in next year, but the master plan showing to the international investor that Cambodia capital market will go along with the other market. If you look on the action plan of ASEAN capital market for 5 years, 2025, 2030, you will see that the way and the roadmap and to build more service and the product is not so far from what we have in our master plan. It means that what we should do will go along what ASEAN or the other market should do. So that is what we very exciting about our master plan. So for me, this master plan is strengthen what we have done so far. We'll develop more product and service in next 10 years, and also we show to everyone that you need to come, you need to support, and you need to go along together to build this market, because this market is not for regulator, it's not for the company in the security market, but it's for you all. When you have everything, it's you to get the benefit from it.
That's right. So on that note, I cannot say enough how we appreciate you, how we appreciate the quality of regulations that your institution has been issuing. And I'm sure that as time passed, we all learn, as you just mentioned correctly, at the end, it's for us. It's not for you, it's not for anyone else, for Cambodian public, it's for the entire economy to benefit from this. People around me, around you, we love to talk about uncertainties, right? Everybody talk about uncertainty. But sometimes I say, when have we ever been certain? So uncertainty is nothing new. So what we should do is to prepare. And that's why at CamEd Business School, we are proud of what we've been achieving. We produce people with good skills in finance, tax, audit, and accounting, and some of our graduates work at your place and everywhere else. And as you already highlighted, the importance of abiding by the IFRS, right, the International Financial Reporting Standards, which our school teach every day.
Yep.
So on that note, we really are grateful for your time, and I know that you can come here anytime. We always open arms welcome you. This is not the first, this is second time, and I'm sure we will have more time to discuss. But again, thank you very much, His Excellency Susijit, the regulator in charge of securities and exchange in Cambodia. Again, what a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Thank you.